xalaat bu ñaaw bi ngay ameel sa morom la ausubila binaas moo la ciy génne ba nga mën sa bopp nga am xalaat bu ñaaw ci sa morom du muusaange ku la gën a mun a def lu baax moo la gën a muus ku la gën a mun a def lu bon moo la gën a dof xalaatoo xalaatal ne man sa bopp du nga sol yére yu rafet manal sa bopp nga doon soldat.
Hi there, good afternoon. You're watching the Gambia Radio and Television Services, and this for you is Multi-Sports, your weekend sports show that comes on air every 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock every Saturday from the Gambia Radio and Television Services. I am your host, Momodes Jallo. And today we have a special forum, and it's sort of a banter bar. And when I mean a banter bar, we have almost a full house here in the studio where we'll be discussing about the zonals. As we all know, the Super Nawetan is what is making all the headlines. With me in the studio, we have critical stakeholders who are taking part in the zonal championship. First, with me on the panel, should I call it the high table, but not the high table, I have my very good friend Ibrahim Amane, who is representing the security subcommittee. And on my right, I have Sam Mendy, a colleague and a friend, who is representing the media subcommittee. Welcome to Multi-Sports.
Thank you very much, Modu S. Jallo, and good afternoon to our wonderful viewers. At this moment, viewing GRTS, it is important you call us to this wonderful forum where we talk about the zonal championship, which is currently going. We all know that it is the only tournament or the only sports event that brings out the people from the zones. The young ones, the old, the male and female, all come out when their respective zones are playing. So it is good we talk about it, and we talk about what is the way forward as far as this particular tournament is concerned, because a lot of people believe it is the only way forward as far as Gambian football is concerned.
Well, over there on the stands, we also have a full house there. Like I said, we have critical stakeholders. I have my very good colleagues from the media. You'll be interesting to see some faces that you have been hearing on the radios. You have the likes of Sarah Kamara in the studio, I believe for the first time, Namori, Mama Fall, West Coast Radio, Big Sam, my brother from Brikama FM. They are all here. And also we have zonal reps. Alanyasi and the team are here by Ndongo from Serekunda West. We also have fans from some of the zones. We have Serekunda East fans, we have Brikama fans. I can see them, recognize them from the crowd. They're wearing their T-shirts. I believe we have other fans from other zones. We were expecting almost fans from all the zones, but we made to understand some are on the way coming from Banjul and other zones. Probably Brikama, Gunjur and Brufut might be too far. You might not get them, but we have everybody represented here. What we are discussing today is about the zonals. We all know that the zonals restarted last Wednesday after a temporal halt to the games due to violence, and we call this forum so that we talk to each other as brothers and sisters, as Gambians, as the same family in football, to make sure that we play this tournament, this most beautiful, most exciting football championship in an atmosphere free of violence. As we all know, violence or hooliganism has no place in Gambian football. And this tournament has, over the past few years, and even the ongoing one, been beset by violence, which is totally unacceptable in Gambian football, football in general. So this is why we call this forum. If you are monitoring on the radio stations, on the newspapers, and on the television, you have been hearing people going out, sensitizing and talking to the people so that we avoid, we desist from violence and all those things. So this is why we call this platform also to bring all the stakeholders, the fans, the team reps, the security, and members of the organizing committee, members of the other subcommittees set up by the Gambia Football Federation to properly manage the zonal championship. So it is going to be an open forum. Everybody will have his or her say onto how we should go about the zonals, play it in an atmosphere, because we all know that the zonals is the most exciting tournament in the Gambia, very widely followed, loved by even people who are not into football. So obviously we have to play this tournament in a very, very, very from violent situation. First of all, I will allow Sam to come in, give us a brief update on the zonals, the standings. I know Brufut are not doing very well this time around. But anyway, tell us how is the zonals going on quickly.
Yeah, before the break, Manjai were the team to watch, and the team to beat, of course, because they went 3 matches unbeaten, and you have Serekunda is and also Lameng that we are doing so well in the first round. But when the tournament was halted for a time, and when we resumed on Wednesday, let me just take you through those games. Sukuta played against Brikama in the opening match, which is 3 o'clock, and Brikama, of course, beat Sukuta by 2-0. And then Gunjur played against Brufut, which was a game that both sides needed. The two sides created a lot of opportunities, but the finishing end, which the coaches will always say, has always been a Gambian problem. It ended 0-0. And then on Thursday, Serekunda West played against Manjai. Manjai, like I said in the beginning, were a team to beat, but that game ended 2-1 in favor of Serekunda West. Manjai fans will tell you that we used our second string team because most of their players that were playing in their previous games were not featured. So they will tell you we use our second string team because we already knew that we have qualified. And the 5 o'clock game, obviously, 5 o'clock, BEM played against Serekunda Central and Bara Esau and Mayamba, which makes up BEM. They beat Serekunda Central by 5-1. Wow. That was a game that saw a lot of goals, and you know, everybody who was at the stadium really liked it. And at this moment, like I said, in Group A, I think the team that is leading there is Manjai, still on 9 points, even though they lost the game against Serekunda West. Serekunda West have 8 points, and then Gunjur have 6 points. Sukuta yesterday played against Gunjur, and they defeated Gunjur. So Sukuta have also booked their place in the next stage of the championship. And Sukuta are on 5 points and 7 points. Because they won 2, they lost 1 and drew 1. I think I'm not sure of that statistics, okay. But you know, in Group B it's tight, but no more tight because Lameng have been suspended for 1 year for an act that we don't want. That is the reason. No, that is one of the reasons why the matches have been moved from the grounds that where people take ownership of these matches to the Independent Stadium. And we've seen for the first 2-3 games the way the fanfare have faded away. So this is possibly why you called us here to come and discuss on the need to exercise patience, the need to accept when you lose a game, the need to show that the game should be free from violence. And then hopefully by the quarterfinals, the games will be taken back to the grounds. Hopefully. I hope that happens.
Anyway, that will depend largely on the security recommendations whether the zonals could be taken back to the zonal. Well, Ibrahim, tell us, the zonals, like Sam said, moved to the Independent Stadium because of the violence which beset some of the games. How are you guys finding it with the moving of the games to the stadium?
Thank you very much. I think from the security perspective, it was important that the matches were moved or been moved to the Independent Stadium for certainties of containment, because football is married with violence. We all know that, and it is very impossible for us to predict when violence will occur. But what we prepared was to make sure if there were concerns, we would have been in a position to contain the issue. And to be honest, I think for the past 3 matches that we managed to play at the Independent Stadium, fans were very, very, very comforting. They comforted themselves. We haven't had any problem with the team managers. We haven't had any problem with the coaches. We haven't had problem with the players. So every other person or stakeholders, you know, respected what was the reason why the matches were being moved to the Independent Stadium, and we commended them for that. Before going further, I think the composition of the security was the GD. GD is the general duty. You have the immigrations and the PIU. we brought all of them together so that they play a different part to the security. And we understand